entertained. These drivers go hard and not restrained. Cheer for your favorite, you will not regret. The spectacle you watch, you will never forget.
All right, hello everybody, welcome in, welcome back to another amazing round of high-flying racing action right here from the International Racing Organization 2026. It has brought some huge competition in here this season, and with OVO Esports leading the charge here in the championship coming into our 24 hours of Nurburgring today. Let's see if they can continue that bit of momentum that they've gained here in the early part of the season as they continue, well, their track to a GTEC Endurance Championship. So we are just about to have some driver swaps coming underway, and we can see it is a little bit wet on the racetrack here right now, and that's going to make for an interesting stint here, to say the least. So I'm just going to do a quick audio check. Bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, everything is looking and sounding fantastic. We love to see that. Hope everybody's having a great weekend this weekend. We are getting ever so closer to summer, and I know everybody's always excited about that. Everybody's got the big family vacation plans, and, well, the kids are just out of school, so I mean, they're happy about that, I'm sure. But for now, we get to do some great racing. So, welcome in. I'll be your host here for the next couple hours, GT45 Gaming, and, I mean, let's get into it. We're just going to be seeing our viewers coming over from Jaeger, so we appreciate Jaeger kicking things off here for us today. As always, absolute legend, and we're going to take the race on here for the next couple hours, and should be interesting to see how this stint all works out here. So again, it is raining slightly here as these drivers are preparing to set up for driver swap. So this is the stuff that you guys and gals don't normally see during our IRO productions. We are still very vigorously working on things behind the scene in the production end of things to get our production for IRO technical difficulties sorted out. It has been a tough year for the production crew to get these broadcasts out to the IRO channel, running into some complications with the process, but we are working on it. We have something new in the background here that we are working on, so hopefully by our next racing round we'll be back in full stock, in full production glory over on the IRO channel. Hopefully, fingers crossed, everybody, fingers crossed. We're working hard on it back there, and we're just glad that we're still able to get all the racing action out. We do apologize that we're making you jump around here a little bit today, but the stream's got to go on because the race is going on. That's just the way it is. So, long formation lap here at the Nurburgring. It's going to be 100 mile an hour. I think it is 80 mile an hour speed, it looks like here. Single file around the racetrack. So, be a nice lengthy 10-minute formation lap, give or take. Just trying to get back into the loop of what's going on here. Sorry, I hit my mic here. They're in that position, just a great spot for everybody. So it sounds hopefully the best it is. It can be, of course. Just looking for some information here real quick. There we go. Alright, so now what's happening, ladies and gentlemen, is the drivers have gotten around. They are in their pit lane here. So now what's going to happen is as the drivers come in on Jaeger Stint, the drivers, obviously for the same team, will come out here on our screen in front of us here, and that will be what is our driver swap. So Gran Turismo 7, unlike iRacing and a few of the other platforms out there, doesn't give us an in-race driver swap option where you could literally just queue in as another driver, take over the car when the car comes in the pit lane and keep going. GT7, we have to do things slightly differently. We have to open up a secondary lobby that's running beside the current running lobby and do exactly what you guys and gals just saw there. They do a rolling formation lap that gets them into pit lane, and then we can do the driver swap from there. So we'll see 14 racing laps here in stint number 2 before we see that driver swap happen for stint number 3 again, and I believe Jaeger will be taking stint number 3 back over on his channel there. So we are just about ready to get our number 3 underway here, and I mean the Nurburgring is the Nurburgring. It is the Green Hell. It is a very difficult track, probably one of the most difficult tracks in the world to race on, and it always makes for interesting endurance racing action. So welcome in everybody. Hope you all are enjoying the show so far. Hope you all are having a great weekend here so far, and hopefully the weather is absolutely shining nice and brightly out there for everybody today, keeping you all warm. Alright, so I'm a little bit unsure what our tire allocation for today's race is. I'll have to dig a little bit deeper here as we get into the day. And I don't believe that there is going to be a cap on wet tires. If I'm mistaken, I'm sure one of the officials will correct me in the chat. I believe that there is an unlimited amount of wet tires available to the racers here in the race today, in the case of rain, of course. And then, of course, our soft, medium, and hard tire compound allocations are as they have them set. I just have not quite dug into the full details of what today's race is yet, as I was having a little bit of issue finding the lobby today because my brain apparently is not working this morning. We will switch over to the full screen as soon as we get our first driver underway here. And it is the Feel Good Racing team currently leading the race here, so we are sitting on our 303 Porsche here right now, yellow, black, and white Porsche 992 here on the track today. And I do suspect that the Porsches are going to do well here, but I definitely think that the big motor cars are in favor of the track here today. However, with that being said, the weather is going to definitely be the deciding factor, I think, on that. And here we go. We are fully underway into driver swap mode. Let's take you to the big screen so you get all the juicy action. We definitely don't want to miss a thing. So it is Feel Good Racing Porsche here. They had roughly about a 20-second gap over the field coming into pit lane here. We'll see what that gap is once these drivers get back underway. And Feel Good Racing, our current Nurburgring 24-hour racing leader, is now leaving pit lane. Hour number 3 is officially underway. Let's go racing. Let's go racing. It looks like there's already a dry line developing here on the racetrack as well. So obviously we're not hiding any information from you guys and gals, so you guys can see what they're choosing to use. You can see what they're on. You can see the conditions of their cars. We're not running the graphics package here this weekend just because of the complications. Good luck to Stint 2 drivers. Appreciate your River Ruckus. Hope you're doing good, my dude. All right. So we have a bunch of drivers out, but we're going to let the live timing just take effect here for a second so we actually know who's where. Again, I haven't been fully following the race since it started yet this morning, as it's quite early morning for me when the race started. So we're just kind of getting into our morning routine here myself in Western Canada. This is where we're broadcasting from, so welcome from Western Canada here today. It's a little overcast and cloudy here today where I'm at. Par for the course for spring. Alright, so our live timing is struggling a little bit here, but we have lots of time to let it sort itself out, so to speak. And it looks like we have a lot of cars that came out very close together, so I do want to kind of get through the grid here and see what's happening, but until the live timing corrects itself, we can only guess. I'm assuming that 4th and 2nd. That is the Sector 7 Racing number 7 Porsche here. I believe out to second on track. Looks like a gap of 37 seconds. Yeah, that seems about right. 8 seconds in behind is Simon with OVO Esports, our current championship standings leaders. And sitting on the podium here right now, they are, I want to call it 46 seconds in behind the current race leader right now. All Dandy here, good to hear you, mate. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, we're doing good. We're doing good. I know we're a little quiet on the GT7 front lately. All right, we got Inferno. Right, is that Inferno Motorsports? Inferno Motorsport. I knew that wasn't right. Currently sitting in 4th place here on the track. I know it says 5th right now, but the game timing's being wonky. That's just the way it goes sometimes with some of these racetracks. We've got Lewis here in the 224 Ferrari, and for some reason I don't remember my teams offhand today, so this will take me a hot minute. NWR Motorsports, there we go, to get it all figured out here. Got my team Esports here, the 54 car, and I believe Mercedes at the beginning of the year, were they not? They were. They have now swapped it for I think that was after Daytona. They made that swap as well. And ooh, a little battle here right now, perhaps between Pandoni and Nixo here for 8th place, 7th place, 8th place, 8th place. Even though it says that there's a 13-second gap there, must be. Our live timing is not working very well. For 8th place, 7th place technically, because again live timing is not working correctly here. As soon as our last driver gets out on track, it should sort itself out, and then all the gaps should also sort themselves out. Now this could be a case of blue flag car situation perhaps, and he's trying to get his lap back from Nixo maybe, but it seems awfully early in the race for that. Unless there was some moments in the race that we have not caught. We've got Grid Life, the esports races on drivers at Grid Life last season. Here, Jakey, and sitting in 9th place right now, 14 seconds behind that battle for 8th place here, and I guess a minute 10 from the leader. So this is a battle for position, but BMW is starting to pull away from our Porsche a little bit here, so let's keep going through our field here. Let's get caught up. I need to get my brain into the rhythm here. Apparently it's a little bit out of sync at the moment here. I don't know whose Ferrari this is because this livery is not showing up. That's my mistake. I had thought I had all the liveries showing up properly. One of them is not. We got Project One is racing here in 11th place. Looks like a tough start here for them today. 2 minutes back right now in 11th position. And we've got Shadow Chef here in the 64th place. QRT Esports, my mistake. Porsche here in 12th place. And you can see there's been a couple of racers having a rough, or a couple of teams having a rough start here, but Feel Good Racing absolutely large and in charge here right now in first place. 36-second gap is nice and tidy at this early in the race. It's comfortable. It's comfortable. It's definitely not something you can just sit back on and go, all right, we got this, boys, for the next 22 hours. We just got to keep it here. You definitely want to keep working on that, but at this point in the race, that's a very good cushion to have to work with. It allows them to have a mistake if necessary and still probably maintain their position from second place if something like that were to happen. And with the weather, you just never know. How's it going? How's it going, Addy? How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's doing fantastic. We miss y'all. We miss y'all. We're always happy to see races happening. That means we're back at the track doing what we do best, bringing the action to everybody while you chill out at home or at work or wherever it is you're hanging out with us from here today. So it is Simon here, and a little bit of the gap is shrinking here for Simon in the Sector 7 esports car here. It's 6 seconds now into third place, and Simon is definitely tracking an OVO esports car in behind. This is not the battle for position currently in behind the number 7 car. I think it's a blue flag car that we have there. I could be wrong. It could be our race leaders? No, it is OVO esports. Our live timing is working not well today. Not well today, chat. Alright, so battle brewing here for second place. I don't know why my live timing is so sketchy today, but we're not going to trust it. We're just going to go with what we see from here on. But this is a potential battle here for second place between the Sector 7 team and the OVO esports team here again. The 111 car chasing in third place right now is our current championship points leaders. They've gotten a good stranglehold on this championship very early on this season. They definitely want to keep trying to capitalize on that. They want to have a good run here and continue to obviously stack onto those points to maintain that lead in the championship. We've seen this a lot in the past couple seasons here at IRO, where we see a team really get off on a really hot start. They're absolutely just dominating, and then as the season progresses, the rest of the teams seem to all of a sudden just start to claw back and catch up. So this is potentially what we're going to be seeing again here this year, but we're going to get some slipstream action here, and it is going to be OVO esports taking over second place for the Sector 7 racing team here, and a good clean pass right there, using that on the back straight, using all that slipstream, making sure waited for that pass, timed it so there was no reaction from the 7 cars, so he couldn't use the slipstream back to get back around him heading into the final set of corners. That was good strategic passing right there by the 111 car. Waited very patiently, timed that pass so there was no response coming from the number 7 car in behind, and now the number 7 car has to find a way to attack back here. So as we head in towards Mercedes Arena here on the GP part of the circuit here in 24 hours of Nurburgring, it is getting spicy already up here in front. This is great news for the Feel Good Racing team. With these guys battling out a little bit here in the early part of the stint, that's just going to allow them to potentially open that cushion that they have in first place up a little bit. But it seems like the 111 car is on a mission here right now, and the first part of that mission was that second place team with the Sector 7 number 7 Porsche in front. They managed to get their way around them. Now the objective here is to try and break that slipstream and start to work on building a gap on that third place car here. So great job here from Simon in the OVO Esports on Porsche, and slowly but surely just picking away right now. He's just opening that gap up a little tick, half a tenth here, half a tenth every corner here, and it's almost got him to the point now where by the time he gets to the actual Nurburgring part of the track, he may have slipstream already broken as well. Go QRT, Alex. Hey, what's up, everybody? You guys are popping. I love that. I'm glad to see everybody's enjoying the race. All right, so 17 seconds now from the podium to Inferno Motorsports BMW in behind there chasing, so it's a decent sized gap. So the podium right now is just kind of chilling, and they're really just focusing on trying not to give up any time to the rest of the pack chasing in behind. So off to our 27 BMW from Inferno Motorsports here, and was that Tonkaron? Tonkaron? Said a couple different ways, I suppose. So we just try to stick with the team names now. Cruising in 4th place here, and 13-second gap. So we're seeing a little bit of spacing between the drivers here at the Nurburgring. That's pretty normal here for an endurance race of this stature and this length. We're going to see these gaps fluctuate all day long. There's going to be great battles, and there's going to be some space in between the drivers as everybody settles into their rhythm. As the weather changes, that's going to also change potentially each of the drivers' pace around the racetrack. Some drivers not necessarily as comfortable in wet conditions as they are in dry, so that could also affect the gaps and the pace between the teams here as well today. Lots of factors to play in. We've got Lewis here in our NWR Motorsports Ferrari right now. He's 13 seconds in behind 4th place and has about a 10-second gap over Nixo. Can't remember what team he's driving for. Via the Elite Motorsports team. Elite Racing Squad. My bad. ERS. That's right. Our brain is shaky today. Our memory's a little off today. It'll come back. It'll come back. Alright, so we are seeing smaller gaps definitely in the mid-pack as per the norm. Again, Elite Racing Squad here, 10 seconds in behind NWR Motorsports Ferrari right now, sitting in 6th place and has about a 7.5-second gap over the My Team Esports. Porsche chasing in behind. We got lots of Porsches out on the racetrack here today. There's 3 of them in a line right here, and they're all nose to tail, so a 3-way battle developing right here between these drivers. So we've got the My Team Esports, we've got ERA Esports in here, and who is our middle Porsche? Who's the middle Porsche? Portugal? Yeah, we thought of that. Oh, GT Finland Racers. Okay. There we go. My brain is, my eyes are not computing very well today. I'm really struggling with the eyeballs today. That was no 54, that was a 66 car. Alright, so 3-way battle here. Let's see how this plays out. Obviously, patience is very required here at the Nurburgring. There's not a lot of room to pass in a lot of different areas of the racetrack. I mean, you can pass, but it is risk versus reward depending on the sector of the racetrack you're in. So you're going to see a lot of nose-to-tail driving from the racers. If one makes a mistake, it opens up a hole. You might see a battle out of these 3 drivers, but I think we're probably going to see these battles happen on more power runs here. You see a little mistake made there by the 54 car, and the 66 car is going to try and get a pass done here. So they are side by side, but he just tucks back in behind. The 54 car just gets a slightly better run up the hill there, and the 66 car just decides it's not worth it right there. He's just going to back off, pull back into that line, keep in the slipstream, and wait for a better opportunity. You see ERA's Esports there, Jakey behind the wheel right now, just doing much of the same thing, just sitting there tucked in right now and waiting for an opportunity to try and make a move. So we may see this happen at the very end of the lap, or we may see this happen before. We are in a little bit of a power stretch here. Let's see if anybody's going to try and pull out to make a pass. It doesn't look like it. So everybody's just jockeying for a little bit of clean air coming into the corner here. Make sure they don't lose touch with that conga line that we have developing at Porsches here on the racetrack. We got some good racing action coming here from the GTEC 2026 on behalf of the International Racing Organization. Welcome in if you're just tuning in. We are roughly 2.5 hours into our 24-hour endurance racing event here today, with plenty of racing action going over the next 21 plus hours. So we're all having a great day. We're all settled in because it is battle time at the Nurburgring here, and it is the 66 car starting to apply some real pressure here now to that 54 car. So the 66 car is going to be looking to get a move done. The next available chance that they get. As you can see, they are tucked right underneath that rear wing here, right now, that 54 car. And again, it's just when and where do you try to make the pass on this racetrack now? And you know, try to capitalize on the small mistake here in front. We did see a small mistake made by the 54 a couple sectors ago, and we did see the 66 try to make a pay for it, but good recovery by the 54 car to defend that position in 7th place from the 66. But there is still that ERA car working in behind there too, also waiting for an opportunity to try and get a position or two here from the Lithium battling out as well. So mid-pack action here at the Nurburgring as always, and 3 Porsche 992s battling it out here for that mid-pack supremacy right now. This is good stuff. We love this. However, it could be you know, it could be costing all these drivers a little bit of time right now, or it could be helping these drivers gain some time right now. It all depends on I guess how you look at it in comparison with this little conga line we got going here. Dirty air is definitely going to factor in here a little bit. That's why we see the car jockeying back and forth. You see him moving out of position slightly, coming under braking. That's just trying to get a little bit of clean air into the front end of these cars, so they get a little bit of push down on the nose on the braking to help them get that ideal entry exit out in the corner. So you know, same old race car mumbo jumbo. Porsche Cup, yeah, Porsche Cup racing at its finest here from the IRO, right? I mean, it almost is a Porsche Cup at this point. There's not too many other cars outside of Porsche currently on in the series, but can't be surprised at the same time with the 992 just coming out not that long ago. Alright, so this is where we expect to see the action happen here now. Everybody played nice through half a lap of the racetrack here, and now it's going to be who can get the best run, who can get the slipstream engaged and make the pass happen. It does look like 66 is going to try and get it done here on the 54 car. He's going to wait. He's going to be patient here. Again, you don't want to make the pass too soon on this very long run, because then you are allowing the attacker to get slipstream back and re-attack. And the 66 GT Finland Porsche will pass the number 54 My Team Esports Porsche and take over 7th position. ERA car, the number 1 car, defending championship this season, settles in and just stays close in behind the 54 car. Do we see? No, we see a pit stop being made here from the 54 car, and that will be an automatic position gain there for Jakey. So patience kind of being important there, and he doesn't even have to battle for that position. So now he can focus on trying to close back up on the rear bumper of the 66 car. So Jakey and the ERA number 1 car now up into 8th place, with that pit stop being made by My Team Esports 54 car. So there we have it. That was, I mean, that was some juicy tidbit there to watch. Good patient driving, very smart decision making there made by the racers there. Nobody forced anything unnecessary or risky there. We see the great pass attempt about halfway through that little battle there, and realized it wasn't going to happen, and just, you know, pulled back in line, waited for a better opportunity. 66 car got it on the back straight like we figured we'd see, and we have the unaccounted for mystery Ferrari here. I believe this is our Portugal All-Stars team here right now, currently sitting in place. Delivery's not showing up. I apologize to our Portugal All-Star team here. Game glitch. I thought all deliveries were showing up when I jumped in, but apparently one was not. Alright, so our 54 car comes out in 10th place after that pit stop. That brings Project 1 Racing into a pit stop here as well in 11th place, and our QRT Esports Porsche in 12th place here, and it's doing their thing right now. 4:23 minute 50 to 11th place. I think they're slowly chipping away at 11th place here right now, so making up for what appears to be a tough start here for a couple of our teams. and the gap in first place here now is closing. So let's head back up to the top end of our field here with our current race leaders in the Feel Good Racing Porsche. They started with a 37-second gap when they left pit lane after driver swap here. That gap is now down to 26.2 seconds. So OVO Esports is tracking. They are definitely on the hunt for the top spot here on the racetrack again, but there is a long ways to go here yet. So you're not going to win the race in hour number 3. You only win the race at the end of the 24 hours, being the first team to take the check flag. So there's still a lot of story to be written here yet today, and we'll be with you in various parts of the race here today to hopefully help write that story. Are we going to see a different winner here this weekend? Is it going to be OVO continuing to show their dominance here in the championship? It's hard to say, but 4 seconds now is that gap between Simon and Simon here, between the Sector 7 and OVO Esports groups. 7 car there losing the battle to OVO a couple laps ago to give up second place there, and 4 seconds now is that gap. So OVO is slowly but surely tracking, and that is about the same amount of time that they've made up on the race leaders up there in second place as well. So we move down to our Inferno Motorsports team here. 17 seconds is the gap still to third place. That gap has opened up just a tiny little bit. It was, I think, 14 seconds before, so just a little bit off pace by a very minuscule amount per lap here right now is our Inferno Motorsports BMW. This is essentially the first of our non-Porsches currently here in the racetrack, and it is a BMW. So like we said, not too many other cars out on track here today. We've got the Ferrari, newest Ferrari here as well, 224 NWR Motorsports car, 13 seconds in behind the Inferno Motorsports BMW. Not too much has changed right there on that gap. That's stayed fairly consistent, so the drivers are fairly equally paced with each other here. We got Nixo in the 73 car as well, our elite racing squad. Go, extend the gap. I'm sure he's trying. 7 seconds in behind. Lewis currently in the Ferrari up ahead from NWR, and has about 15 seconds gap on what is now the 66 GT Finland racing car, where the ERA Esports car is still chasing. The gap is now 8 seconds between those two. So GT is just maintaining the edge of the slipstream here right now. This could be by design, or it's just not quite able to close that gap up enough to make an attack yet. We're not sure, but let's find out here. See the closest two gentlemen on track from each other at the moment. Sit with this here for a sector or two as they continue to burn up the racetrack. See if that number 1 car has an answer for the 66 red and black Porsche up in front here. And while this is happening, I'm just gonna slam that nice fresh coffee that shit right now. Take a slap in there. All in place, right we go. Morning coffee to chat. All right. Jakey closed right up here now. Half a car length in behind as we head through the carousel. And number 1 car gets the carousel just a little bit cleaner there than the 66 car does, but the 66 car gets a good run out, so doesn't really seem to change anything there. But number 1 car definitely sort of trying to apply some pressure here to the 66 car. At the Nurburgring between these two gentlemen. I've got a lot going on today. I do apologize. We're also in the middle of a esports mobile tournament here today as well, so my attention is in a lot of different places at the same time today. So we'll just go silent for a few minutes. I can just, somebody just ping me in Discord with some kind of message to let me know what's going on that end. Definitely got our time everywhere today. All right. Jakey here, though, doing good, but the number 66 car is doing a great job at just keeping that car just enough so he's not in striking distance. Jakey's close enough there to definitely use slipstream on a long run to try and close up the gap, but he's not close enough to make a move here in the corner right now. So the 66 car is doing a really good job at just kind of keeping the space between himself and the number 1 car in the right amount of distance right now as they travel the track. But at the same time, again, this could be the number 1 car just setting back enough to make sure that he's getting the clean air that he wants for the corners and trying to set up this final back straight. And you see that right there, Jakey actually got a really good run setting up the new carousel here. Now as we head to the back straight, Jakey is right on the rear bumper of that 66 GT Finland car, so now it's going to be when does he decide to make the run. There's going to be a point there where the slipstream and the slingshot isn't going to work, so it's going to be a little bit of game here. He's going to pull out the pass early, he's probably going to get the response, he is just going to pull out, and then I think we might see him pull back in here. Nope, he is going to pull in front, so the number 66 car is going to have an opportunity here to respond up this back straight, try to get that position back before the end of the straight here. Now you're going to see the 66 car pull back out, going to do much of the same thing here. He's going to pull back out in front of, no, it is a drag race up the back straight here. Not enough slingshot there for the 66 car, but can he get the job done? And we're going to go side by side here, and he is. He's just going to get the job done there. So that is what we were talking about just a couple laps ago when we seen that battle between the 111 and the 7 car for second place there. When and where do you make the pass on the back straight? You make it too early, you give your opponent the opportunity to exactly do what we just saw there, respond back, and that's exactly what happened there. Jake made the early pass, took advantage of the momentum that he had there, and got around the 66 car, but the 66 car used that slipstream and slingshot momentum to just edge out the 1 car coming back into the braking zone into the final corners, and does maintain their position back. So battle back on here now between these two as we head up into the GP circuit for the 5th time technically, I guess, 4th time under racing condition here in stint number 2. And good racing action here. So I mean, this is what it's all about, just chase and attack, chase and attack, chase and attack. Ooh, be the defender. Ooh, can't let that guy. Ooh, okay, nice pass. All right, let's get him back. That's why we love this. It's that little dopamine hit that you get as a racer now in this situation. Our adrenaline's up a little bit, you know, they're a lot more alert. Your senses are firing on 110% stamina right now. They're white knuckling the steering wheels just a little bit harder, and they're pushing those gas pedals just a little bit harder right now. These two trying to sort out this position between the two of these guys, and Jakey's really tucked in here, looking for an opportunity to try and get something done on the GP circuit, try to get himself out being the lead car as they hit the Nurburgring part of the circuit here. He is tucked right in, gonna give him a little push here actually as they head up, and interesting strategy. Maybe we're going to see a slightly different strategy here. No, Jakey's going to take a look here as we head up into this high flowing chicane, and ooh, got a little bit dicey there for the 66 car. Not sure if there was a little bit of contact between the two there, but he got into the edge of the racetrack there. It was a little bit wet, and walked that car up a little bit, got it sideways into the corner, and Jakey's going to get around the 66 car there. So let's go have, oh no, the replays aren't working. No! Oh, rip the dream, chat. I want to go take another look at that. We're going to have to fix that. Bear with me here for a second as we'll get through the field, and then I'm going to try and sort that issue out here on the fly. Just a simple little unplug and replug it of our keyboard should fix that problem. But a great moment missed by the replay button not working right there. Thumbs down to the replay button, chat. Thumbs down to the replay button. Big fail. Project 1 Racing, 37 seconds behind my team. Esports here. That is, I believe they're starting to close in on the 54 car here now after that pit stop. Where is our QRT Esports car? About a minute 16 in behind, so it did make up a little bit of time, I believe, on Project 1 Racing, which means they are making up time on the back end of this pack here as well. And 426 behind the leader, so you're giving up roughly 5 or 6 seconds to the overall race leader so far this stint as well. So everybody seems to be on pace with the race. It's just those little bit of gaps now separating the drivers is what makes it difficult, trying to close those gaps back up when all your racers are so equally paced. That's how things get tricky. It all comes down to how clean around the track you are, how efficient your pit crew is when you make those pit stops, and whether or not Mother Nature is going to cooperate here at the racetrack as well. Obviously, is a big factor. Probably the biggest factor here today is going to be the random weather factor. And I'm going to leave you on board with our race leader here for a moment. Alright, so 22 seconds down into this gap race leaders, and the gap is definitely diminishing a little bit here. The OVO Esports 111 car is definitely moving around this racetrack right now, and Nixo is actually the fastest around the racetrack right now. They're in 6th place from our Elite Racing Squad BMW with an 804.3. Now, under optimum racing conditions, we most likely will see laps go under the 8-minute mark from these guys on a soft set tires, potentially. So, definitely not going to be the fastest laps we're going to see here today around this racetrack. But an 804 under drying conditions is a pretty impressive lap nonetheless. Alright, so under 22 seconds now is the gap between the 111 and the 303 Porsche up in front right now. Simon putting in some work for the 111 car here in stint number 2. Absolutely chipping away at that gap. They've grabbed them also a position further up on the podium here so far in stint number 2. With an early battle over the number 7 car that was very clean, precise, and over very quickly here today. And the 7 car is about 7.8 seconds behind now, so it's about a half a second a lap, maybe about a second a lap right now. Pace difference between our 3rd and 2nd place driver. We've got 18 seconds separating our 27 BMW and that number 7 Porsche up in 3rd place. That gap has roughly been bouncing right around that 15 to 18 second mark all stint long. So no real change there, but an 11-second gap to the NWR Ferrari here, the 224 car. So Lewis is starting to chip away a little bit at that BMW in front as well. That gap is slightly closing here between our 54th place cars. That leaves Nixo here in the 73 BMW, also closing in the Elite Racing Squad, obviously the fastest man on the racetrack currently. 6.3 seconds is that gap, so we are starting to see these gaps slow down a little bit. And we've got Jakey here now in P7, which we saw a little bit earlier there, that side-by-side getting into what is the Vito chicane normally on the GP circuit, but that is a high-speed chicane that opens up into the Nurburgring circuit here today. And yeah, just a tense moment there between the two drivers, with the 66 car locking up a little bit under some wet roadway, it looked like to me anyways, and just got a little bit sideways going into the corner. Great recovery there, and I mean, at the end of the day, only 3 seconds behind after that. That's pretty good. So a little bit of time lost, but in a position lost, but no damage on the race car, and they can still see that number 1 car up in front there. So 66 car pushing to try and close back up on that number 1 car. We've got our Portugal All-Stars racing team. This is the number 4 car, ladies and gentlemen. I know you can't see that right now because for some reason the deliveries are not showing up here in this particular stint. And just heading through the mini carousel here right now to hit that back straight as well. 36 seconds in behind the 66 car, and that's a 30-second gap over 54 Porsche from Stint Esports. They were looking real good and solid here now. They've made an earlier pit stop there, and believe they were the first team to make a pit stop here out of the group in stint number 2, and put them from 7th to 10th place, and they've been sitting in 10th place since that pit stop, and a 31-second gap to the Project 1 Racing Porsche in behind in 11th place here right now, being Project Chris currently. Minute 18 the gap between them and QRT Esports Porsche here as well at the moment. So it's staying fairly consistent. It was a minute 16, I believe, last time we went through, so a couple seconds gain on our 12th place car there, and about pacing right now, I want to say, with the 54 car up in front. And again, it's really tough to make up positions when you guys are when you're racing at the level that these guys are racing at. Because everybody's so fairly equally paced for the most part, give or take within half a second, probably typically anyways. It's hard to make up chunks of time like a 30-second gap. You have to do exactly what these drivers have been doing here today and chip away at it over hours and hours. And thankfully, the racers have 24 hours to get that done today. So. The bigger question, the big question in everybody's mind is, does anybody have an answer for that number 111 car here this season right now? Last season it was the Sector 7 racing team. The esports team came in and they were just absolutely dominating in the early part of the season, and then they started having issues, mainly disconnection issues, in the latter half of the season, and that started setting them back down in the grid in the finishing positions of the races, while the other teams that were still fighting there with them in the first half of the season continued to still have good results due to just not having connection issues, probably more than anything else. And the Sector 7 esports team saw that slip away from the esports racing side of the team in the finale last season. The season before that, it was ORT, our first champions from GTEC. It was just an outright dominating performance in season 1, and ERA falling just a little short there in season 1, chasing the ORT gang there as well. So again, we've seen that trend every season so far from IRO, where the team that starts off really hot, starts to have those mid-season struggles, it seems like. So hopefully that's not going to be the case here again. Ooh, a little bit of a slide there into that hairpin for the Feel Good Racing Porsche there, and that's going to cost just a small amount of time in comparison around that corner to the rest of the field. So again, a gap though, 20 seconds just under now. He has a cushion there, so little mistakes like that are okay, but they've been watching that gap just diminish bit by bit, lap by lap here, as that 111 car continues to chase down. And does anybody have the answer for the 111 car this season is the question on probably a lot of people's mind here right now, because they have been very strong so far this season. Number 7 car from Sector 7 Racing here in 3rd place, 10 seconds in behind 2nd place, 30 seconds overall behind race leader, and 20-second gap for Motorsport. So they're starting to open the gap up to 4th place a little bit here now, the number 7 car. So picking up the pace just a little bit here now as they get around the racetrack, and it's very, very misty. It's very foggy out on the racetrack here right now currently at Nurburgring. That's making for a cooler track. It is obviously taking a little bit longer for wet areas of that racetrack to dry out. Due to that, it's going to basically take cars to drive on it to continue to dry it out. So overcast with a little bit of fog right now here at the Nurburgring. And I mean, rain could just be hiding up there. You never go. So my team will slow you down there. I'll slow you down in the 54 car here. Starting to chip away at the 66 car here right now, or the number 4 car, pardon me, up ahead in 9th place right now as well. It's just under 30 seconds here now is that gap. So starting to settle into a rhythm here right now is this 54 Porsche and that 25-second gap over the 11th place car. So Project One Racing is closing in a little bit, though they are starting to chip away at that gap to the 54 car here. 25 seconds, it was 30 seconds last time we were just down here, so maybe a little bit of a mistake possibly made there from the 54 car somewhere in that last lap as well, because 5 seconds definitely dictates maybe a slide or a missed braking point or something that cost some valuable time at a crucial point on the racetrack or something like that. So Project One Racing on the move here in 11th place as well, it looks like. QRT minute 23 behind, and not going any slower right now, just a little bit slower than the car that they're chasing currently. As again, Project One Racing car has seemed to have stepped their pace up just a tiny little bit here over the last few minutes. So Feel Good Racing here, about to finish off lap number 6 here in stint number 2. And again, this is going to be 14 racing laps in stint number 2 here. And so far, the weather has not been kind to our racers. It's been very overcast. It has been very foggy. Visibility not at its peak. This track definitely cool and slippery here. Very early on in our 24 hours of Nurburgring. Right, 18.2 seconds now is that gap between our first and second place drivers. And at the pace right now that Simmons seems to be catching up to FGR, there is a small potential to see a battle potentially for first place if it continues to be on that trend throughout the stint. So we'll have to wait and see how that develops. 10 seconds is the gap from number 7 to the number 111 car. But with that being said, they are 28 seconds in behind the race leader, so they are slowly starting to chip away at that Feel Good Racing car as well. Very small, minuscule amounts right now, but they have knocked a couple of seconds off that gap to first place themselves as well. So they are moving a little bit faster than the current race leader as well on track at the moment, which is good news for them. Inferno Motorsports is going to come in for a pit stop here. This is looking like a scheduled pit stop from this team, and we'll sit here and watch the crew go to work as this Inferno Motorsports BMW pulls into pit lane, and here we go. Simmons is definitely catching. Oh, for sure he is. Yeah, he's catching up. All right. This is one of the cool things about Gran Turismo 7 and the whole pit lane feature here. So they've done the tires, the lollipop guys holding the car. Normally the crew would be behind the wall that's done their job and task right now. In real life racing, but in Gran Turismo 7, you know, they all got to make sure they're each person's doing their job, right? The fuel man pulls the tank, lollipop guy pulls the sign. That's what it means the driver can get out and start getting down pit lane. Now they don't have to maintain their speed while in the auto animation. The game does that for you, but you got to be prepared when the game spits you out, because you don't want to cross that solid white line on the racing side of the track, because it will give you a 3-second penalty, and that's a tough penalty here at the Nurburgring, especially where the penalty serving line is at that back straight. You lose a ton of momentum. But great work there by the pit crew for the 27 Inferno Motorsports team, and they are moving and grooving there in 6th place, currently 28 seconds in behind the Elite Racing Squad BMW, who has now recently given up a position to NWR as well here. So pit stop swap, I'm thinking that is there. His position has probably changed due to pit stop. So NWR currently sitting in 4th place, about 9.5 seconds ahead of Nixo there in the Elite Racing Squad BMW. So I would assume that once the NWR squad makes their scheduled pit stop, we'll see what the gap really is, and those positions will go back to the way they were. We are essentially in a pit stop sequence, so we are going to see these guys jostle around position a little bit here over the next couple laps probably. So NWR is sitting in 4th. Now we have Portugal All-Star sitting up into 7th place now with the sequence of pit stops happening in front. IRO number 1 car in 8th place after just coming out of pit lane. Much of the same thing for the number 66 car, also coming out of pit lane in behind that number 1 car, 3 seconds in behind. Moving down the field here, we got My Team Esports now 23 seconds in behind that bunch, and on a slightly different pit strategy than currently, but you just never know how those are all going to work out at the end of the stint. That leaves us our Project 1 racing car, who was 30 seconds behind the 54 car, is now 20 seconds behind the 54 car. So Project 1 racing team is now in a groove here at the moment on the racetrack. They are hooked up and absolutely picking away at that 10th place car here right now. I keep trying to get our car to QRT here, but I keep hitting the wrong button. And the QRT here is they've actually picked up a couple of seconds as well here on the 11 car. So the drivers are starting to settle in here now into the rhythm here at the Nurburgring. It's starting to settle into the races here, and it's a tough track. It's a tough track. It is so easy to make lots of small little mistakes here. There is 107, I believe, quarters of the 24-hour circuit. It might be 97. It's one of those two numbers here around the full 24-hour circuit. So, I mean, there is a lot of nuances to have to put in the memory bank as a racer and a team here at the Nurburgring. There's also bumps, dips, cambers, spots you can push, spots you shouldn't push, curbs you can take, curbs you definitely shouldn't hit, all those kinds of things around this racetrack. So you kind of need to know every millimeter of this racetrack to really maximize it. And when there's that many corners and the track is 24 kilometers long, yeah, it takes a little while for the racers to get that all stored away. And of course, in real life, with weather and real life factors and environmental factors and all these things, the track is constantly changing as well. The dips are changing, the little bumps, the little grooves are changing all the time. So the track's never the same any two races as well, especially when you have a track that spans basically the countryside of the country it's in. Alright, so we have some pit stop. Oh, we must have had a mistake made here from Simon, as our number 7 car now sitting in 2nd place here. Simon's now sitting in 3rd place here, so that was about 10-second gap plus another 2-second difference here, so 12 seconds lost for our 111 car here, and definitely a mistake made somewhere on the racetrack here, and that has allowed the number 7 car to move back up into 2nd place. So a little chink in the 111 armor right there here today, as Simon was absolutely tearing apart that gap on the race leader, and it makes a mistake here somewhere, and no damage on the race car, no damage. He's clean of damage, but definitely a mistake made somewhere on the racetrack here. That's we missed it. Yeah, it must have just happened. I agree. We just missed it for sure. Some tense moments from the fans in the chat there, but yeah, no damage on the race car. So great for the Sector 7 racing team back up in the 2nd place here, but now they're going to start feeling the pressure here again from the esports car here, I think, as he is turned that 2-second gap into 0.8 of a second here fairly quickly. So you can see Simmons definitely pushing there. Maybe a little bit of frustration currently behind the wheel of that car, or whatever the mistake was. I'm sure they're probably not too happy about it, but it happens, and there's lots of racing left. We still got 21 hours of racing, a little less than 21 hours of racing left here. So, but you know, that probably more frustrated at the fact that they made a mistake because they're doing such a good job of picking away at the race leader, but at the same time they're still chipping away at the race leader here. So they did give up some time there. They had the gap down to 20 seconds to the race leader. It's now 28 seconds to the race leader, so they gave up about 8 seconds of that gap to the race leader there as well. Overall 12-second loss, yeah, for sure. They were 10 seconds ahead of the 7 car, and then 2 seconds behind when we queued back in over here. So this corner, a small spin maybe. but I think we're going to be seeing some pit stops coming from both these guys here. As we come up here, we might be seeing a pit stop sequence from all our race leaders here currently, actually, as we come up the field here. So it looks like our FGR team is also going to be at that point where they need to make the pit stop. They're probably on about 3 or 4% fuel at this point, so they're definitely not going to make another lap around without running out of petrol. Race leader in that pit lane, and the 111 car is going to pull it to make the pass on the 7 car here on the back straight. That's pretty typical, and again waited right till the end of the straight to make that move, so there was no response from the 7 car there. 7 car took a quick look going into the set of corners, but there was no move there, so they just settled right in, tucked in nice and neat in behind, and these 2 cars are going to go in the pit lane nose to tail here, so it's going to be interesting to see what the gap is once they come out of pit lane and to see how difference in the strategies are playing out here. So top 3 in pit lane here. Lewis in NWR Motorsports Ferrari here coming up the track, 27 seconds in behind. Is he going to pit? Is he going to continue to go around? What is he going to do? He's made up a position here on the racetrack due to the pit stop sequence here so far. Looks like he's going to keep going. He is going to keep going here. He's going to send this car around one more time. Where does that put him now in the conversation of this podium battle? He's going to come out behind the overall race leader, but looks like he is going to go out ahead of the 111 and number 7 cars here. We got Nixo coming in with the 73 BMW there as well, it looks like, in behind those guys. So NWR stays out and currently now sitting in 2nd place in the middle of this pit stop sequence. That brings our Sector 7 Porsche out about 6.5 seconds ahead of the 111 car. So the difference in the strategies right there in that gap, 6.6 seconds is that gap. Alright, our Inferno Motorsports BMW here now is back up into 5th place, so our 27 car back to where they were before they made their original first pit stop. And we still have 1 car with the NWR Motorsports car that has yet to make their first pit stop. We'll probably see that in the next couple of laps coming from that Ferrari. Our Elite Racing Squad BMW, the 73 car, is coming out. It's going to come out in 6th position here on the racetrack, about 20 seconds in behind the other BMW and a minute ahead of the number 1 car, Esports Races out of Porsche, currently sitting in 7th position. We have 17 seconds over the next group here, and oh, it looks like we just missed a fight here, or we're missing a fight here between the Portugal All-Stars Ferrari, the number 4, and our 66 GT Finland racing car here. Battle of the Red on the racetrack here right now, and it's going to be a battle of the red right into pit lane. Let's go see if there was, my replay button's still not working. Rip the dream chat. I guess we're gonna have to go without replays in the stint. I apologize. Hopefully we can get them back in our next commentary stint in a few hours time. All right, 54 car, 27 seconds in behind our number 1 car here right now, and again we've got guys in pit lane. It is going to be the 66 car coming out ahead of the number 4 car. Project 1 Racing is going to come out and actually grab a position from the Portugal All-Star team there as well. The number 20 car now up into 10th place with that pit stop being made from the number 4 car, which is now coming out of pit lane here, and about 15 seconds in behind. And then we've got QRT Esports here in 12th place, 2:29 in behind, about 5 minutes overall behind the race leader here so far. A little bit of a tough start for them, but lots of race left. Anything can happen in these races. We all know that by now. guys, ladies and gentlemen. Just got a message from this brother. Check real quick. And very soon. Alright, FGR here in space. Moving, grooving. However, 7 seconds is that gap, so definitely could be a little bit better, but that is 7 seconds of gap to a car that is going to need to make a pit stop in the near future here. So we'll be seeing this 224 car probably hitting pit lane at the end of this lap here to make their scheduled pit stop, which will then swap up the gaps here again. So we have the number 7 car currently sitting in 3rd place, 13 seconds in behind Lewis, and 21 seconds in behind the race leader. We have Simon in the 111 car, 6 seconds in behind the number 7 car, and the gap hasn't changed too much since they came out of pit lane after those pit stops, but they are only about half a lap in, so at this point the tires are just starting to kind of get proper temperature in them, and the drivers are settling back in to the rhythm of how the car feels with their strategy changes. So it is Inferno Motorsports here, 15 seconds in behind the 111 car with an 18-second gap to the 73 ERS squad here. They've got almost 40 seconds to the number 1 squad, who has now opened up a almost 30-second gap to the 54 car here and My Team Esports in 8th place. That takes us to the 6062 Finland Racing Team. They are 11 seconds in behind the 54 car, and they've got 2.5 seconds over Project 1 Racing Team here. So Project 1 Racing car is chipping away quite quickly here. Really close gaps after 3 hours of racing. Yeah, not bad at all. Not bad at all. Seeing some bigger gaps, but for the most part, every one of these teams is still in striking distance of each other. "18 seconds between Project 1 Racing and our Portugal All-Stars Ferrari. Now they just made a pit stop, obviously, so half the field's just settling back into their race cars after making their scheduled pit stop. We got QRT here, a minute 41 in behind. And for them to gain some time here, obviously with the pit stop sequence, they are about 6 seconds to the good so far in the stint compared to where they started. So they are chipping away back there in 12th place as well. Alright, this is going to be beginning to become an uncomfortable lap, so to speak, I think, here for this Ferrari a little bit. The racing tires, the dancing shoes on this Ferrari are definitely getting a little wore out, and that's going to be making for just a little bit of a traction problem here for the Ferrari, especially under braking and holding the line through the corners right now, but doing a good job of managing the tire degradation as they go through the mini carousel there. But you can see the cars really start to slide around on them there, and almost shooting a little wide coming out of that corner. Obviously you're trying to maximize the corner, but definitely having to nurse the car a little bit in certain parts compared to where you can just kind of keep it down. But now he's just gonna get it down this back straight here and bring it into pit lane, and that will then get them into the pit stop sequence, and then we'll see where obviously our 224 car comes out. We would expect that they come out somewhere between 5th and 7th place there after their pit stop. We'll have to wait to see how that plays out, and it all depends obviously on the strategy that they're playing, what tires they're going to take, how much fuel they're taking. All those things are going to factor in. It does look like the tires are lasting at a decent rate here as well today at the track, so some of that might be due to the cool temperature. The tires aren't quite wearing down as quickly due to the cooler track conditions. However, with that being said, that can also create a little more slide in the car under braking and acceleration due to the cooler track conditions, which could help you when your tires are faster. So there's a fine line here for our racers right now in taking advantage of the cooler track conditions, and the extra lap or two you might be able to squeeze out of your tires before they really start to fall off. So risk versus reward, it always is. But 18 seconds the gap now between Sector 7 number 7 car and the 303 Racing leader from Fieldgate Racing. and that gap between them and third place now, the 111 OVO Esports car, is 5.7 seconds. So again, chipping away every little bit. Here is that 111 car right now on the number 7 car, and right back to trying to close the gap up again. So 23 seconds the overall gap to the race leader, which means they are closing in both drivers on that racing leader as well. So Feel Good Racing is seeing that gap slowly being chipped away here, and they are going to start feeling some heat potentially at the end of the stint here if it continues on that trajectory. Inferno Motorsports 15 seconds in behind here, and this is the first of the non-Porsches in the grid. So BMW, the 27 BMW, is our first car, not a Porsche, highest up in the grid right now in 4th place, and has been there doing a great job for the whole stint here so far, and a good Porsche at the beginning of the race, I believe. We have the NWR Motorsports comes out in 5th place, 10 seconds in behind the 27 car there of the BMW, so not too bad. He's got 5 seconds between himself and the 73 ERS squad. We've got the number 1 car in pit lane here, so let's go see what is going on there as our number 7 car does get to position, and damage repair potentially right there for our number 1 car. Does not seem like they changed tires, and it doesn't seem like they have any more fuel on board, so I am assuming that there was a mistake made here by the number 1 car. They picked up some damage on that race car and had to jump in to fix that. They will give up 7th place to the 54 car, and they're going to be feeling some pressure here from Project 1 Racing number 20 car here now as well, having to make that pit stop. So 4.7 seconds is the gap, and not ideal there for the number 1 car. Our number 4 car has 21 seconds in behind 9th place, and about 10 seconds to the good over the number 66 Porsche here right now, our GT Finland racers. Potential mistake made by them as well, I feel like. Security is a minute 50 in behind now, so they're definitely starting to find a little bit of time here on the back end of the pack. So keep on pushing. Keep on pushing. It ain't over for you guys yet. Alright, 17.1 seconds is the gap. And is gaining a little bit right now from FGR. They are doing a good job at just trying to maintain that gap the best they can here right now, because obviously the 2 drivers in behind are chasing. They're a little bit quicker at the moment, but it started with a 37-second gap, so we're still at a 17-second gap here right now. The number 7 car is trying to chip away. He is got the 111 car chasing him behind here, still 5.6 seconds back. So number 7 car is doing a good job at pacing what the 111 driver is driving here right now as well. He's not really letting Simon close back in all that quickly here, if anything, not at all right now, and trying to maintain that gap. So it's number 7 car looking good here right now, back up into 2nd place. And again, a mistake made by the 111 car there cost him roughly about 12 seconds on the racetrack. That cost him that 2nd place position back to the 7 car roughly about 15 minutes ago. A couple laps ago now, I guess. The Inferno Motorsports BMW here holding a half-second track limit infraction. You hate to see it, but it does have a gap to 5th place NWR car in behind, so no harm, no foul. Cost them roughly about a second overall, probably a lap. Not what you want to see, but not going to cost them a position, and they keep on moving and grooving. So BMW's looking really good, really strong out here today. This is typically a fast car here up Nurburgring as well. Obviously, BMW designed and tested their M series and racing series cars based off this racetrack, so you would suspect that BMW should do well at Nurburgring. Right, and NWR Motorsports here sitting in 5th place, again with Lewis behind the wheel currently. 9.7 seconds in behind that 27 BMW and 5.7 seconds ahead of the number 73 BMW. And basically all our non-Porsche cars are all kind of clustered up right here together, with the exception of our number 4 car that's a little bit further down the field at the moment, the Ferrari. Ferrari. Wow, the brain is drawing a complete blank this morning. The new Ferrari. New to GT7. Right, 54 car, 1 minute behind 6th place here. So a little bit of a gap here for the mid-pack, the top half and the bottom half of the field here right now, separated roughly about a minute. A couple of the sectors around this racetrack, a couple of clicks, give or take. JT is at 3.7 seconds behind in the number 1 East Coast Races on him car, trying to close up that gap, but also has to worry about that 20 car chasing in behind of Project 1 Racing as well. So 6 seconds is the gap there to 20 car, and we're going to be kind of keeping our eye here on this mid-pack. I think this is about where the closest fight is at the moment, but these gaps are not massive here, as one of the viewers was just saying. Pretty close gaps at this point in the race so far still. 10 seconds gap to from the number 4 car to the 66 car here right now, just under 10 seconds, and then 22 to QRT here, but they are, again, they're closing in. They are closing in. They've had a good clean stint here so far, and that's paying off. The car is starting to close in on the 11th place team. They were well over 2 minutes behind that 11th place team starting into the stint. Now they got that gap down to about 90 seconds, so that's a good 30 seconds to away at the back of the field there by QRT, by just getting out there and getting their time in and just putting in their lap, putting in their paces. Alright, so the gap continues to diminish here for our race leader. LeBlanc is, driving really well. He's doing a fantastic job here in the race lead for a 303 car, but that second and third place driver is just a little bit faster than he is here right now on the racetrack, and they are continuing to take that comfortable cushion and make it into a little bit more of an uncomfortable cushion at this point. Simon here opening the gap up actually on the 111 car a little bit here, so Sector 7 Racing doing a good job here late in stint number 2. Again, getting second place back from the 111 car, but now we're starting to open the gap back up. It was down to like 5.5 seconds. Now he's got it back up to 6.6 as he comes across start-finish line, start lap number 10. So Simon here in the 111 OVO car is 6.6 seconds behind, almost 7 seconds behind the second place here right now on the racetrack, but that's 17 seconds to the hit over the 4th place car. So not too concerned about what's happening right now in behind, but definitely trying to continue to close the gap up the front. 21 seconds is the gap to the leader, so not quite making up the time he was in the early half of the stint here. Sports team here, looking good, nice solid clean run through the S's there, and as we head into the GP circuit, looking strong, 5.5 seconds ahead of the NWR Ferrari, who just started to come into the background there. Around the corner you can see the endurance lights actually starting to come on here on these cars as well, meaning that we are potentially heading into darker conditions, or the weather's just getting worse, one or the other. But they're closing very quickly here on the 27 car. 5.1 seconds is the gap, and it continues to drop here. You can see it's almost under 5 seconds there. Let's see what it is once we get through this corner, or this sector of the GP circuit here. It is going to be under 5 seconds here, so the 224 Ferrari is definitely flying here. We've got Nixo in the 73 car from ERS here, 7.3 seconds in behind Lewis, and a minute 12 ahead of the number 1 car here. The number 1 car is feeling the heat here from the 54 car here, though, and battle on. We'll stick with this for a minute. Well, this might just be where we had the one car just get around the 54 car, or the 54 car is closing in on the one car and trying to battle for that position. I'm not sure because we don't have the replays to check, unfortunately, but we just missed whatever happened here. 7th to 8th. I believe the 54 car is just closing in. Or maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe number one car got passed on. Come on, man. Needless to say, number one car is 7th place. Now, only half a second separating himself and the 54 car, so we're going to sit with this for a minute, like I said, and see if the 54 car has either a response or an attack here, whichever it may be. Jakey is going to continue to open up the gap on Tupac here, and 1.6 seconds. So 54 car doesn't touch. I think the number one car may have passed there. Is what I think. Right, the number 4 Portugal All Stars Ferrari here in 9th position, currently 30 seconds in behind the 54 My Team car, but has 10 seconds to the good over GT Finland 66 Porsche, who is now 11 seconds ahead of Project One Racing number 20 car. Obviously, they just made a pit stop recently, so that has put them back down into 11th position, and they are 1 minute and 6 seconds ahead of 12th place drivers in QRT Esports. So QRT Esports is continuing to make time up on the racetrack here. They are 4:03 in behind. Now they've gained 8 seconds on the overall race leader so far, I think. Which is weird because these guys are moving and grooving pretty quickly. But again, different tire compounds, different strategies on the racetrack as well. That is going to fluctuate and change how fast the drivers are racing around the racetrack. But the 303 car is 14 seconds to the good in first place here. But boy, oh boy, that number 7 car and that 111 car sure are pushing hard here to try and close that gap back up. And 6 seconds is the gap between 7 and 111 right now in third place as they hit the carousel here. Nice late entry into the carousel. Really good run through that carousel there. I think it's going to give him a clean exit. And yeah, they're moving and grooving right now. So we got Simon here as well, sitting in third position. He's just getting to that point where he's getting up in towards the carousel. He's in this nice high flowing section of the racetrack here. Sports 21 seconds in behind, but now things have changed here. The NWR, the 224 Ferrari, has found that 27 car here on the racetrack, has closed up that gap very quickly here over the last lap and a half, and is starting to apply some pressure, so battle on here. We're definitely going to sit with this now as we continue around the racetrack here. The 224 car is definitely closing in on the 27 car. We are going to see definite battle for position here between these two guys. At the pace that NWR car is going, he is taking names first and asking questions later. see the difference between the two styles of cars too as well. BMW is a front engine rear-wheel drive car, the Ferrari is a mid-engine rear-wheel drive car. So you can see the BMW has weights to its advantage. You can see the BMW is abusing a lot more of the curbs than the Ferrari is right now in this battle. The Ferrari, where you're seeing the BMW really cut a curb, you're seeing the Ferrari just stay on the track edge from the very, very start of the curb. And that's because of just the sheer weight difference in the cars. The BMW is tanky and can take the curbs pretty well, where the Ferrari is so low to the ground because of its aerodynamics that taking curbs can actually cause the car to get upset in certain spots around the racetrack. So again, you really have to know your racetrack with your race. Here right now it is on the faster compounded tire here as well between these two racers, so this was an inevitable battle that was going to happen here on the racetrack at some point. It happened quite early after the pit stop sequence. So the 224 car starts to motor up the road. Now really it's going to be up to the 27 car to try and not let that guy get too far away and let those tires start to break down and let their tires difference kick in and start to potentially reapply pressure near the end of the stint. We'll have to wait and see how it works. So the tires haven't been wearing too entirely quickly here today. Yeah, I think a big part of that is due to the weather right now on the racetrack. Cooler track temperatures typically means a little bit better tire management for the racers. One car, is about 14 behind that battle. So losing touch with that battle just a little bit at the back half of the pack. Losing that front group a little bit. 54 car 6.3 seconds in behind number 1 car now, so very quickly losing pace with the number 1 car. 31 seconds is the gap between 54 and 4. Portugal All-Stars Ferrari here. They've still got 8.6 seconds to get to the 66 car, but the 66 car is chipping away a little bit here at that number 4 Ferrari up ahead. That puts the 20 car 4.5 seconds, give or take here, in behind 10th place. Come back to that in just a moment. QRT Esports a minute 9 in behind the Project Racing team here. So they are doing a good job. They are putting in some work here this stint. They made up a little bit of time on the back half of the field here. There's a good stint here coming from the QRT Motorsports Porsche here right now. After apparently what seems to be a tough start to the day for them. But they are heads down and pushing forward. It's a good job for them as they continue to try to make their way back up through the field. Right, Feel Good Racing car only 11.2 seconds ahead here right now, so still got a gap, but that cushion is now just turning into a gap, and that's not the ideal situation. But like I said, with almost 20 and a half hours of racing left still, it's far from over. Anything can happen. Lots of time to rebuild that gap. Lots of mistakes can happen by all the racers. Anything can happen. Number 7 car here, absolutely flying right now. The fastest driver still is at 2017 right now in the stint. I'm not sure what the overall fastest lap of the race is at the moment here. It could be this one, or it could have been the lap that was put down in the stint number 1. I'm not sure. But an 804.3 currently here in stint number 2, held by the number 27 Motorsports Racing team. The 111 car is 6.9 seconds and behind 7 seconds, so still just maintaining essentially just a little bit slower than the number 7 car right now on the racetrack. And then we've got Lewis here, who is just absolutely moving. 804.7 last time around, so very close to that fastest lap on the racetrack in the stint, and 17 seconds of gap. So does he have enough time to close in and apply some pressure to the podium? We'll have to wait and see. But NWR is starting to make some moves here in the latter part of this stint number 2. In front of Motorsports, BMW here, the 27 car is 3 seconds in behind Lewis after losing that battle with him there. But again, we do have a tire difference here between the 2 cars, so that's definitely where the difference in pace is right now currently on the track between these gentlemen. Elite Racing Squad is 9.2 seconds in behind the number 27 BMW here right now, so 73 BMW trying to close back in on number 27 BMW, and 10-second gap is nothing here. Nurburgring is one small mistake by the driver in front, and all of a sudden that 10 seconds has turned into 2. So it's that easy here. We've already seen it once with the number 111 car. Whatever mistake it is that they had, they gave up 12 seconds and a position just like that, and now they are sitting back in 3rd place again, chasing that 2nd place spot. Number 1 car, minute 14 in behind, starting to close that gap a little bit more back up on the front half. We're going to have to work out for him here to get back up on the top half of that field here today. Right now, they're minute 14 in behind. They did make an unscheduled pit stop at one point there that cost them roughly probably about an extra 35 seconds. So, put their head down and really get pushing here to get back up on the top half of the field. We're obviously going to be looking for good results here. We're going to win the champions this season, but hasn't been the greatest start for the IRO team here this season as well. And I mean, that doesn't mean nothing. That means nothing. It's proven itself over the last couple seasons, but you definitely don't want to let it get to become a routine of how your racing weekends are going, that's for sure. So they're going to be looking to break that little bit of a rhythm or a bad streak that they have going on here and try to top on that podium here as well. But you got the work cut out for them in the next 20 hours. My Team Esports here in 8th place, the 54 car, 8.9 seconds behind that number 1 car, a 30-second gap over the number 4 car in behind. So right now there's not a lot of pressure in behind. The goal is try to catch back up to that number 1 car up in front. Portugal All-Stars still maintaining about 8.5 second gap over that number 66 GT Finland Racing Porsche roadmap, who's got only 2.2 seconds over the Project 1 Racing number 20 cars. So a couple of battles maybe brewing here. We're kind of keeping our eye on that last little battle here in the back here. 1 minute 11 for QRT. So give or take a second or two a lap here between those guys right now in the back end of the field. But they are doing everything they got back there. That's all you could ever ask for in any of the race car drivers in the track. No matter what happens, the car's still got to get around and it's still got to take a checkered flag. So you got to just put your head down and just do the best you can with the cards you're dealt that day. What happens, happens. FGR here is now almost seeing the gap depleted out the double digits for the first time in a few hours here. It is at 10.5 seconds right now over the number 7 car, and with about 4 racing laps remaining on the racetrack for a little tiny bit. The potential is maybe there. To see a battle before pit lane, but definitely going to see that gap diminish more at the pace that is going currently. Our number 7 Sector 7 racing car is doing everything they can here. I mean, they've been working hard this stint. They lost that second place there for a while. They stayed cool, they stayed calm, they stayed in their plan, they stayed in their rhythm and on pace, and now it's got them back up in the second place and closing in on that race. 10.7 seconds. I mean, you can just see the taillights of that car up there. That could be the QRT racing car that we see up ahead as well. I'm not 100% sure. It seems like 10 seconds is a little bit far to be able to see the next car, but Simmons in the 111 car here, 11 seconds in behind, so giving up some time here, and something else happening here to our 111 car on the racetrack. We've got some front end damage on this racing car. We're not going to see him bring this in at this point. We're going to see him probably just deal with this here over the next 4 or 5 laps, just take the time loss per lap, and hopefully not have to make the pit stop. But unfortunate there for the 111 cars. It's gone from bad to worse here for our driver here in the 111 car. It is stint number 2, and been very quick and very fast all stint long here in this car, with just a couple of mistakes to set him back a little bit here. May actually put him under pressure here from the 224 car. Now the 224 car potentially has a shot at a 3rd place position here before we see driver swap happen. So things are spicing up in the front and the back here. I can tell you what, we're going to see some battles in the front end here within the next couple hours for sure. 27 cars only 7 seconds in behind the 224 cars. So I mean, the top 5, top 6 in reality are all still in striking distance of this thing, especially the top 5 right now. all being within 30 seconds of the race leader. Elite Racing Squad is right there too, only 43 seconds behind race leader, but that's just a little bit of a bigger gap than 30 seconds is obviously. But I want to say our top 6 right now is all still very much in the conversation of this race right now, as they're all showing incredible pace and that they can close the gap up when they need to, or when the opportunity arises. So 7 seconds of gap here from ERS to 27 Inferno BMW as well. And then we see that little bit of separation between the front half of the pack. It is peak right now, I agree. He's over pushing. Yeah, well, sometimes that happens, right? You make that mistake, you want to make up for it. Sometimes one mistake leads to another mistake, right? Alright, Jacob's got 12 seconds to the grid over the 54 car. The 54 car's got 28 seconds to the grid over the 4. Number 4 car's now only got 7 seconds over to the grid over the 66 car. So the 66 car is closing in on the Portugal All-Star team. And we got the 54 car making a pit stop here. But the number 20 car here looking to get it done on the 66 car. So Project 1 Racing Porsche been probably the biggest movers, I want to say, this stint so far. Down here in 11th place. I want to say they've probably made up a solid 30 seconds so far on the racetrack, and they're just about to gain a position on track here due to it. And that is a pass 4 position there from the Project 1 Racing at the 20 Porsche there, and that does put them up into 10th place. Great pass there on the 66 car again, right at the end of the back straight. We're seeing a lot of those passes happening here today, and we're going to continue to see a lot of passes happening here today as well. Is the best pace passing area on the racetrack, obviously, next to the GP circuit. You can see the drivers come into. They're going to head around turn number 1 here to take them into Mercedes Arena, and then that takes them around the GP circuit. So, cuts out Mercedes Arena, I suppose, and takes them to the GP circuit. Normally, we'd see the drivers going to the Mercedes Arena at that point, but not the case here. Alright, so it looks like number 20 car has that battle in hand, and I'm going to see a response currently from the 66 car here in the GTEC Racing team. Great job there by the 20 car to continue to push forward. In a minute 14 here for QRT Esports as well. They are about 4 minutes and 4 seconds in behind the overall race leader, so they gained like 7 seconds on the overall race leader, and they are gaining on the back of the pack. So might not seem like it when you're slogging in the back of the field there, but ooh, that big slide right there coming from Lebob. Yeah, I had it right the first time, and now I can't see it this time from our number 303 car here from Feel Good Racing. I'm going to stop trying to say it. I'm tongue-tied today in first place, but I mean that gap for the first time in a few hours now is under 10 seconds here, so the double-digit cushion is gone. This is now becoming, he's aware, the crew is talking to him in the car, and they know that that car in second place is definitely faster right now. It is, keep it cool, keep it calm, don't overdrive the car, get it home in first place if you can. Let the next driver take it from there. But I tell you what, Simon's been having a good stint here in his number 7 car. Pushing hard here, 9.2 seconds. And doesn't need to worry about what's happening right now here. The 11 car, this car is wounded for the time being for the remainder of the stint. I doubt we're going to see them bring this in. It's going to cost some time on the racetrack, but these guys are our current championship points leaders, so they're no stranger to pressure and how to handle the situation. So we'll see how stint number 3 goes for the 111 team here. But right now it's just about damage control for the 111 car here to get this thing around the last 3 laps of this racetrack, try to minimize the time loss per lap due to that damage. And at the end of the day, they're going to use less time just staying out at this point now in the stint than actually going in and fixing that car. They're going to use 35-40 seconds to fix that car, but probably only going to lose 15 to 20 seconds just getting this thing into driver swap position. So when you do the math, it makes sense just to tough it out and keep it on track at this point. It's always about math when it comes to making those decisions in the pit lane, you know. Not quite a tight carousel there from the 224 car. You got on the high side of that carousel, so a little bit of entry cost, exit cost there for the 224 car, but 4 seconds, and closing is the gap here on the 111 car. It's going to be just a few more corners, I think, here before we see that battle ensue. So we're just going to rip through the field real quick here, take a little peek at the gaps. 4 seconds now separating 73 and 27 car here. So things are getting spicy at the end of the stint right now. We've got the number 4 car closing in on the 54 car here as well. A Project 1 racing car there in 10th place is also closing in. So a three-way battle starting to brew here for 8th place as well now on the racetrack. Getting interesting. It looks like a recent pit stop made by the 54 car last time around. This looks allowed these guys to be right tucked in. And oh boy, we've got some stuff happening on the racetrack now. Holy cow. Alright, 8.4 seconds is the gap to the race leader. We got 3 seconds between Simon and Lewis here in 3rd and 4th place. Trying to keep our eye on that battle, but we're definitely going to be keeping our eye on this battle here as well in 8th place. Got stuff happening everywhere. Love to see it. Trying to figure out which one we should be watching first here. We'll try and get all the action together for the same move, but you know, it happens sometimes. The races don't decide that, oh, okay, you guys have your battle first, and then we're gonna have our battle for the cameras, right? You know, when it happens, it happens. Hopefully, we catch it when it happens. But it is 54 car. Now that he's got to just build some heat up in his tires and stuff. Once he gets those tires heated up, I do suspect we'll see the 54 car start to back away from these guys. In the meantime, we're still going to see a battle between 20 and 4 car here, I think. Probably racing that comes up another position here in stint number 2. Boy, oh boy, what a great recovery drive in stint number 2 here so far from the 20 car. Right now, is able to grab 1 position on track, and now looking for a second here as they continue up. They are applying the pressure to tuck right in behind that 224. Obviously, just again, got to pick your moment when you pass this race. So either going to try and take opportunity of a mistake made by the Ferrari, or just going to sit tight, be patient, and make this thing happen back straight. And there it is, Lewis just getting the job done there. Unfortunately, everyone just missed it. Legs aren't working still. Alright, so Lewis does manage to get 3rd place away from the 111 Esports team there. We did suspect that was going to happen. So, NWR Motorsport now up into 3rd place with the 111 car just off the backside of the podium. Just a car length in behind here at the moment. And again, it's just damage control for the 111 car here for the remainder of the stint at this point. But now we got a battle brewing here between the BMWs here and for 5th place. And we're still trying to keep our eye on this battle here for 9th place as well. Alright, we're going to stick with our 5th and 6th place cars here for the time being. Nurburgring Motorsports already lost a position to NWR here in the latter part of the stint. Now they're under fire from the 73 car here as well. This is a battle of the BMWs here right now on the racetrack. 73 car is a car length and a half behind, and just looking for an opportunity at this point now to try and make a move. Are they going to do it on the GP circuit? I know a lot of the racers like to try and make stuff happen on the GP circuit because there's lots of room to pass and maneuver here. But again, when you're so equally paced in the field, it's very tough to find those holes to get that easy pass in, so to speak. And there ain't no easy pass here. The 27 car is parking the car where it needs to put it, hitting his marks, and just not making that small little mistake to give the opening to the 73 car it needs. So the 73 car is going to have to settle in here, I think. And the 20 car is looking to get the job done here on the number 4 car. He did not have enough slingshot there. He was unable to outrun that Ferrari. Just a hair more on the top end on it. And you're going to see him pull back into the slipstream here, but they're now into the braking zone, so I don't think they're going to get the job done here this time around. And number 4 car, a slide coming into the last part of the corner. That's going to give an opportunity to the 20 car. The 20 car is going to take it, and number 20 car is going to get the position from Portugal All-Star Racing Team. Just a little mistake in the final part of that chicane. and the 20 car was right there to take advantage. So he jumps on the outside and gets the pass down for the start-finish line. So Project 1 Racing number 20 car now up into 9th place. They are having a fantastic drive here. Stint number 2 now up 2 positions from 11th place. Alright, getting back to this right here now. The ERS car has indeed got the job done. It always happens that way. Over the number 27 BMW here as well. So ERS now up into 5th place, up amongst the Infernal Motorsports team down to 6th place. So dropped a couple spots here in the latter part of the stint, but that front half of the pack still cruising on this back half. As a minute 19 now is that gap, and continues to open up a little bit. So the back half is just a little bit off pace with the front half right now early on in this 24-hour event. And the 54 car 41 seconds in behind Jakey, so it is closing up that gap a little bit. 2.6 seconds ahead of that number 20 car, who is absolutely flying right now on the racetrack, and they are not done. They are looking for more here, it appears, with 2.7 seconds. That puts number 4 car just 1.1 second in behind, and they are not out of this discussion for this battle yet. And of course the 66 car is still only just 6 seconds in behind there as well. So we've got 5 cars that are very tight knit right now in the mid pack. Going to be battling it right to driver swap here by the looks of it. We only got a couple 2.5 laps remaining here where our race leader is before we're going to see that driver swap happen. And again, that stream is going to be live on back on the Neighbors YouTube channel, and we'll post that in the description for everybody once it goes live. So in fact, we may be very close to that. So post that in the YouTube channel here for everybody, so you all know where to find our next broadcast stint. Alright. Show them what you're made of? Absolutely, absolutely. Alright, 5 seconds is his gap. Boy, oh boy, I tell you what, we might see a battle for first place here before this stint is even over. A 37-second gap at the beginning of hour number 3, or hour number 2 here. By hour number 4, that gap has been cut down to 5.5 seconds. Number 7 car here, Sector 7 Esports team, has been absolutely on a charge here, especially in the last part of this stint. They lost that position in the 111 car here for a little bit, got it back, and they have not looked back since. They have been tracking back towards first place here for the last 45 minutes or so. Got Lewis here, who has moved up into 3rd place, up a couple of positions here now on the racetrack. Great strategy being worked out here from the NWR Motorsports team today to get them up into that position. And the 111 car down a position here. Unfortunately, just a couple of mistakes made by this driver here, currently carrying some damage and just trying to get this thing home with too much time loss at this point. And again, you have to make that decision, where is pit stop worse or is time loss worse at that point where they pick that damage up with like 3.5 laps remaining. I think they're on the right track there. I'd rather give up the 4 or 5 seconds a lap and give up 40 seconds in pit lane when you're only going to give up potentially 20 seconds at tops. You might lose a couple of positions, but we also know that the 111 car is quick. They have a lot of good experience behind the wheel, as they are in our current championship point standings coming into this weekend as well. So you can never count the 111 car out of these races, no matter what the situation is. But a little bit of a chink in the armor of the 111 here today so far on the racetrack, and I mean, it happens. Racers make mistakes. Alright, our 2073 car, pardon me, from Elite Racing Squad here is in 5th place, 12 seconds in behind that 4th place driver, and trying to close in, but has opened up a 10-second gap over the Infernal Motorsports BMW, who they just recently passed. But they've also had a moment on the racetrack here recently where they've picked up some front end spoiler and right tire damage here as well, and that is going to start to slow them down a tiny little bit here up in comparison to the field. It's good for these guys back here in the back half of the field. They're trying to close in on that gap, trying to close that gap in the front half, because now they can start chipping away at that time gap a little bit with our number 1 car here in no man's land right now. A minute in front, 30 seconds in behind, so just kind of getting that thing home here, hand it over to the next driver. 54 car is 3.9 seconds ahead of that Project 1 Racing team. Project 1 Racing team was really closing up quickly there, but now it seems like the 54 car has a little bit more pace, and the 20 car is falling off touch just a little bit. 4 seconds to gap. The Portugal All-Stars team, 4 seconds as well, and behind 5 seconds between them and the 66 GT Finland Racing team. So anything can happen definitely on the backside of this pack here before this stint is over. And Shadow Chef here, 41 in behind the pack and 4:36 in behind the race leader. So they're about 30 seconds lost now. 25 seconds given up here so far in the stint. That would make a late pit stop, it looks like there. But it is feel good racing here, and oh boy, I tell you what, I think we're going to see a battle for first place here before the end of the stint. Only 3.6 seconds is the gap. The 7 car is charging. Elite reincarnation from P10 to P5, despite we lost the stint one more than 40 seconds. Yeah, no, there's a couple of you guys and the 20 car having a good run here in stint number 2. Having a very good run. BMWs are starting to show their strength here a little bit. Oh, and we've got Inferno Motorsports deciding to come into pit lane to fix that damage. I guess they feel like the car is not handling very well, and they decided it was time to come in and assess that problem with that car. So that's unfortunate there for the 27 car, and that may actually allow the number 1 car to get in striking distance of 6th place there as well. So we've said it a couple of times already in the booth here in this couple hours. Anything can happen in a 24-hour race, especially at the Nurburgring. You can never count yourself out of any race at all. Cody, he's flying. He's always flying, isn't he? Always flying. 2.6 seconds. I mean, that gap is just diminishing. That's the reason why Nurb is a wacky race. Facts. And it hasn't been optimal conditions for the racers here either in this stint. It's been, it's been cloud cover and foggy for the most part for most of the stint. A little bit of early moisture at the beginning of the stint, so the track was wet for the first little bit of the race. So definitely not perfect conditions for these racers here currently at the Nürburgring either. But boy, oh boy, that number 7 car is charging hard here right now. And only 2 seconds now is the difference. We're not going to leave this here. I think we're going to stick with this right to until the battle happens or until we hit pit lane, I think, ladies and gentlemen, because I mean, this is battle for overall race lead here, potentially definitely brewing. We're not even going to say potentially, it's brewing. The number 7 car is coming. 1.8 seconds is the gap here right now, and the FGR team is really not done anything wrong in this stint at all. I mean, they haven't seen any big mistakes made from the team. Seen a couple of minor slides from them when we've been on them. Other than that, they've been having a really solid run here in hours number 3 and 4. But that number 7 car has just had the answer for him here today. I mean, right now it's the 224 car, fastest car on track at 804.1. But that number 7 car has been moving too. This is at 1.8 holding right now, so it's game on here between the 303 and the number 7 right now. Let's stick with this. They're on the same tire compound, roughly got around the same amount of fuel, and the tire wear is roughly around the same between first and second place. So I mean, there's no car advantage in a sense here between the two drivers. This is just sheerly the drivers behind the wheel of the cars right now. 1.4 seconds and closing. We're going to be 1.5 laps to go here. We have 1.5 laps remaining before we see these drivers bringing in for driver swap here to head to the next stint. So, as I said, we do have the next YouTube stream up in the pinned comments there for everybody that's here hanging out with us watching this stint. You can just click on that link, it'll take you right over to stint number 3 being done by Jaeger as well. So, hope you've enjoyed stint number 2 as we're still underway here for the next 10 minutes or so, but we will be seeing driver swaps happening here in the next 15 minutes. But in the meantime, battle brewing for the overall race lead. And I mean, this is what you love to see. You love to see the gaps close, the gaps open. You love to see battles happening all throughout the day. And we're definitely seeing that. And it's not always just in the mid-pack like we're typically seeing. And this is a good, healthy battle in the top 5 positions here so far early on in the first 4 hours. It was very 24 as well. And then we've had those great spicy battles in the mid-pack between those guys as well. So some great racing happening here at the 24 Hours of Nurburgring, presented by the International Racing Organization, GTEC 2026. Third season here from the International Racing Organization. It's been a doozy so far. It's been a doozy. A little bit of a slide there from Sector 7. Heading around that, setting up for the carousel through the hairpin there. A little bit of overspeed perhaps coming in. Had to hit the brakes just a little bit harder. A small lock up on the car just through the back end, around a little bit on him, but didn't seem to phase him any. They're tucked right back in. Carlin separating the number 303 and the number 7. This is a battle for the overall race lead here. FGR has held the lead for the whole driver Stint. We've been watching that gap of theirs diminish all Stint long, and now all they see is headlights in the rearview mirror, that number 7 car, and they are absolutely giving it everything they got. But FGR's not giving it up easily here. They're like, no, you want it, come and get it, mate. So battle on here for first place between but trying to say it. I had it perfect the first time, and now I can't say his name. I apologize. I need more coffee, chat. I'm gonna drink like 3 more cups of coffee after this stint, and then we'll be ready to go for it. Alright, setting up for that big back straight run here. This is number 7 car right now. As we're getting down to the final 3 corners, it leads us into that run here. This is a very high speed sector here. Cars are going to be full tilt here, and they're going to have to dial it back to get this next sector down. It's a mid-speed, high to mid-speed sector. It takes us out of the mini carousel here at the end. It takes us into the setup for the big, long back straight. This is where I suspect we're going to see the 7 make this move. They've been setting it up to get nice and tight and close to the 303 car for the last couple of sectors here. And they're in a great position here to get this done exactly how they want it. They're going to be looking to time this pass here. It's going to use the slingshot here. We may see them pull out of the slipstream temporarily here, even just to not make that pass too early. So let's see how they approach this here. He is going to just absolutely make it happen here. So slingshot engaged, does get the job done. New race leader, number 7 car takes the race lead away from FGR, but FGR is going to be looking to respond before the braking zone here. We have a little kink around the corner. If he's going to make it happen, he needs to get it happening here, or he's going to be sitting in behind that 7 car leading into the braking zone, and he's unable to make it happen there. Is he going to do it under braking side by side as we come in through the corners? Battle. He's not going to give this up easily, and he's going to get the job done moving into the final braking side. Slides that car, opens up the door for the number 7 car, and drag race to the start finish line here as we're heading there. And it's going to be FGR, the 303 car, holding on to the race lead. What a spirited fight that was at the end of lap number 14, ladies and gentlemen. Game on. We are not leaving this. We are staying with this. This is going to get exciting. Going to cover the inside off is the 303. Number 7 car has to take that on the outside. He's going to look for an over-under here, maybe potentially. As we come out of the corner, he gets a run, and we're side by side, but it puts him in the unoptimal side. He doesn't want to be on the outside part of the next corner, so he's going to sit there, tuck back in, flashing the headlights, letting him know that, hey, this ain't over yet, brother. We are not done here. GP circuit is a great part of the racetrack to try and battle on here as well. This is great racing action here for the race lead. That 303 car is not having any of this, and that number 7 car is having even less here. It's getting feisty. It's getting a little bit feisty here, ladies and gentlemen. We got some paint rubbing, we got some tire rubbing happening here, but we are side by side on the GP circuit. The number 7 car still settled in behind here, and oh boy, these drivers are literally giving it 110% here right now. One trying to hold a position, and one trying to get the job done. Here we go. He didn't squeeze him into a wall. He definitely squeezed though. That's not up to us. We're just here. We're just here to watch the action, my man. We're just here to watch the action, my man. Battle on, battle on. These guys are experienced guys. These guys are veterans. They can handle this. This is great racing. Now you kind of have to buy your patience here a little bit. So the 7 car is going to do that here, but I feel like there's going to be a moment or an opportunity here in a few sectors of this racetrack where the 7's going to try and get the job done. I mean, he's very quick right now. He's clearly faster. FTR is aware of that. They're defending for their lives right now, trying to basically make that car as wide as possible. You can see maybe a little bit of displeasure being had behind the number 7 car, perhaps there with the flashing of the headlights, but at the end of the day, that's why we have officials to handle those types of situations at the end of the day. In the meantime, we just speak it as it happens. So 17 seconds is the gap there that we're already behind. We kind of keep an eye on that 3rd place gap while this battle's been ongoing. You would suspect that that's going to allow them to close in a little bit with the hard battling that's been happening between these two. It's settled down now, obviously, because of the part of the racetrack where hard battling like that could potentially cost one or both drivers. So now the move has to be really confident, precise, and calculated in this part of the racetrack. So it's a lot of patience and a lot of biting your tongue and biting your time when you're in this position, especially as a chasing car. Got to make sure you're keeping as much clean air in the front of the car so you're not losing that gap to the guy in front. He's tucked right in here, though, so you're really just looking for an opportunity or a moment here now to try and get a pass done. So and the FTR car is literally just trying to make that Porsche as wide as possible at this point right now. And hard battle pretty early on in the race here for these two teams, for sure. And I mean, risk versus reward. How hard do you really want to battle this early in the race? Is it going to be worth it in the grand scheme of 24 hours? It's hard to say, but it's absolutely exciting. Absolutely exciting. My replays aren't working either, brother. Otherwise, I could have taken a second look, but unfortunately, my keyboard replays aren't working currently. Even after resetting the keyboard, it's still not working. Could be a potential game issue. Big slide there from the FTR team, and a little bit of a slide there from the number 7 car as well. So both drivers definitely driving those cars right to their limits here right now. Kind of don't have a choice. The number 7 car has been pressing for a while, so the 303 car has got to drive it literally to its edge as well. So I mean, this battle has only calmed down because of the nature of the racetrack at this point right now. I think that probably given any other racetrack in the game, that this would be a much more spirited battle, and potentially be a finish between the two of them already. But because it's a Nurburgring and you have to exercise patience here when you're battling, because this is the nature of the racetrack, this battle is very, very going to go on for the remainder of this lap, most likely. So we're going to see an attempt here right now, and no, we are not. I thought maybe he had a line there to get through on the outside, but he was unable to find it there. He definitely keeps looking around, he keeps moving, he keeps getting a look here, side by side. I think he's got it done this time. He does have the inside track coming into the next corner here, and the number 7 car finally finds himself in front of the 303 car here. So the 303 car falling down into second place, 7 car finally accomplishing what they were setting out to do here in stint number 2, and that is get into the race lead. And it was very hard fought for the number 7 car here, but a hard battle there, and it took an opportunity when he saw a moment and made that work on the outside. So that was a great battle right there. That was definitely planned. That was a great move right there. And number 7 car now in the racing lead. The FTR car is right there, and we knew that the 7 car is a little bit quicker here right now, so that battle was inevitable, but great efforts there between the two teams. At the end of the day, it was a great fighting for position there, and they're going to come into this driver swap only separated by about a second and a half at most here, it looks like. So Jaeger is going to have his hands full here as soon as these drivers hand over the wheel to their respective teammates, as I'm sure that this battle will be ongoing. Absolutely great battle between 303 and the number 7 cars there, and we'll stick with these guys as they're just coming in. Like I said, driver swap is here now, so we'll be seeing that in just a couple of moments time here, and then we'll go see what's happening in the rest of the field here. We see the 111 car down in another position at the moment here as well. That was to be expected. One second to gap. 1 second to gap. Absolutely great racing at the end of the stint right there by our race leaders. Great action. Great action. Love to see that. Alright, we just got the back straight essentially here. We'll be going through the mini carousel right now. And that'll lead up into that big, long back straightaway here at the Nurburgring. That thing's like, what, 2 kilometers or something like that, that back straightaway. These cars are definitely topped out by the time they get to the end of it, so. Oof, both drivers are just absolutely pushing the edge there. Real wide exits coming onto the back straight. I mean, you definitely need a wide exit there. You need to maximize all the racetrack to get, obviously, momentum onto the back straight here, and it is going to be the 7 car that is going to come in first here into pit lane for driver swap. So the number 7 Sector 7 Esports Racing team here finding the lead right at the end of the stint here, and they are going to come out into our number 4 with a very small race lead, currently 2 seconds, slightly growing, might be 3 seconds here by the time we get to pit lane, but absolutely great job here by the number 7 team. And the 111 car having a little bit of late stint struggles, and really giving the number 7 team a good comfortable cushion here to work with moving into stint number 3 over that 111 car as they continue to chase him in the championship standings. So I was going to bring the 224 NWR Motorsports Ferrari in next. He's got 14 seconds to first and second place, and he's got 13-second gap over the number 27 BMW, chasing in 4th place in behind, 73 BMW, my mistake. The Elite Racing Squad coming from P10, I'm told in the chat, now currently sitting in 4th place, so a heck of a drive for the 73 car in the Elite Racing Squad here. They are going to bring it in and get ready to hand it over here. And the 111 car, finding some more struggle on the racetrack now, carrying some rear damage here as well. And that was a little bit of a costly end stint there for our 111 car. 50-second gap now to the race leader, so costing him roughly about 30 seconds overall. Still less than a pit stop though when you do the math. So sometimes you got to make those tough decisions, and the 111 car coming in 5th place, so it's going to be the 27 Inferno Motorsports BMW coming in next, 35 seconds in behind that 111 car, 1 minute 24 seconds in behind the overall race leaders, and we'll be bringing it home here shortly as well. All racers still on the lead lap here as well, I believe, after 4 hours here at the Nurburgring. 24 hours. That's saying something, actually. That's a great job by our racers. And the 27 car now into pit lane. That now leaves us our defending champions in number 1 Esports Race Asylum car. The tongue twisters today, apparently. Here in 7th place, 38 seconds in behind the 27 car. So that was about 1 minute 19 that gap, and then there was a pit stop made by the 6th place driver. So they're roughly about a minute out from that front half of the field, but only 38 seconds in behind that 6th place car. And you see the rain is just starting to fall here, actually, again on the racetrack. You can see some drizzle starting to come down, so great timing for some of these drivers to get those cars into pit lane. You can see the wipers are coming down on our 54 car here from YTB Sports, sitting in 8th place. They got 28-second gap over behind, the number 1 car, in a 2 minute 32 second gap. Generational stint by Simon. That was a great stint, absolutely. Oh, the number 20 car passes here. So 54 car running out of fuel, ladies and gentlemen. So the 20 car is actually going to come in, gaining 3 spots there in this stint, and they're just going to slip in up in 8th place there as the 54 car runs out of fuel in the last few corners of the racetrack here, and they are going to coast this thing into pit box. A position cost there, not quite enough fuel to get him to the end of the stint there. Lucky to only lose 1 spot. There were so many cars so close together back here. 66 car GT Finland Racing Team now coming in 2:59 behind race leader, 14 seconds in behind the 54 4 car that just ran out of fuel there. That brings the number 4 Portugal All-Stars Ferrari in, also carrying some damage here. So a rough finish stint here for some of our drivers. And 3 minutes 11 seconds in behind. And oh, they missed their entry. Whoopsie doodle. It'll cost a little bit of time in the driver swap issue there, but the race officials will be on that and get that sorted out there. Yeah, it happens. It happens almost every race. Somebody misses a pit entry, so or leaves too soon. But it is Shadow Chef here from QRT Esports. We're going to stick with him here as he comes around. He's the last driver to get around here. 4 minutes 20 seconds in behind overall race leader. About a half a lap down here. Currently at the racetrack, and you know what? These guys just gotta keep pushing. They just gotta keep pushing. We just seen ERS gain 6 positions. We just seen Project One Racing gain 3 positions. Just gotta keep driving. You just never know what's gonna happen. All right, don't miss pit entry. Handling things. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for tuning in for the last couple hours here. The link for stint number 3 is pinned in the comments here. Just click that link. It'll take you directly over to stint number 3. We appreciate you all. Thank you all for tuning in. I am GT45 Gaming, and we'll be back in a few hours time for, I believe it is stint number 7 here in the race. Hope you all enjoy the great racing action. Say hi to Jaeger. Stay winning. And remember, you all matter.
It's time to end the show. The stream is over, I got to go. Now is not the time to be sad. I'll be back, there's more streaming to be had. GT45 will bring the best with an entertainment fest, where friends are made and good times never fade. Soon it will be time again to kick the tires and light the fires and stay winning, hey winning, hey winning, hey winning, hey winning, hey winning.